I'm Mrs. Joyce Steeples of Shipley View. I'm 84 years old and I've been knocked down by a mobility scooter. I was coming out of Tesco with my shopping, got on the pavement, walking towards my bus, and this mobility scooter hit me straight in the back and knocked me flying. It kept coming at me, you see, like that. I think fortunately I'd got a very thick padded coat on. I think that saved me a lot. The lady was screaming at me. She said, I kept shouting to you, excuse me, excuse me. I said, well, you can't hear on a road like this. It's a busy road. And I was more or less knocked semi-unconscious, like, you know. And a police car was passing and he stopped, but he wasn't too bothered about it. My neighbour's been very kind. He came in about 6 o'clock. I think I was sitting here, and he said, will you be all right? I said, yes. But one of the cats wanted to go out, so I thought, I'll get on my hands and knees and crawl to the door. I got out there, couldn't move. I lay on that floor all night, just couldn't get up, do nothing. I was there next morning when my neighbour called round. He said, oh dear, how long have you been here? I said, all night. And so he phoned the ambulance again, and they whisked me off to Queen's Medical. That's where I stayed for another fortnight. And they found I'd had a bone broken in my thigh. So I've had a new ball and socket put in. Eventually I've come home and I've got to wait now for it to heal. I'd like them to have a set of rules that they understand and be considerate to the other walkers on the pavement. It's a fast way of getting round for some. You can't blame them. I mean, if you get a bit dodgy on your feet, they're helpful, aren't they? Yeah. But a lot of them don't really need them. Anybody can go and buy one.
My name's Tony. I'm the manager at the Disabilities Living Centre in Nottingham. We give advice and information to people all about all sorts of disability equipment. But most recently, in fact last year, we launched this new scooter course. It was identified that the need was there because there were a lot more accidents being reported with scooter users that were, you know, actually, you know, more accidents happening with people on scooters.
You know, there are occasions when people are, I mean, I have been involved in working with people who've had scooters and wheelchairs for a long time. So I actually feel reasonably safe with mine, but I think for a lot of people who perhaps have never driven a car, have never used any form of motorised vehicle, and I think, you know, there are some issues that perhaps need to be addressed.
For anybody really who just needs that little bit more confidence, and what we do, we've got, they'll use the ramps here and the zebra crossing, do reverse parking and all sorts of things like that. And hopefully it will give that person that little bit more confidence about going out there and using the scooters, you know, round the supermarkets and on the pavements and everything else, because they are big pieces of equipment to use. I mean, at the moment, anybody can just go into one of the dealers, buy one and then get on it and just drive it around.
I think because that action of just stopping by releasing the mechanism is actually quite different to braking when you drive a car. And it's quite hard to get used to the fact that that is your stopping mechanism.
If you are unsure whether, you know, it's right for you or not, or if your family's worried whether, you know, you're safe on it, then certainly it is a good course to come on and just see how you feel. You don't actually have to have your own scooter. We do have a scooter here, so it's ideal, you know, situation to come and try it out before you go and purchase one. And so, as I say, you just need to just give us a call and we can see when we can book you in.
Now they would actually set up the legislation, but I think it would be a good idea if there was something much more official in place, yes, because so many people just think they're hop on, they're easy, there's no problem, and that's actually not the case.
The other thing to bear in mind as well when you're buying a scooter is where you're going to store it, where you're going to charge it, also about access to the property, which is very important, of course, to be able to get in and out. How are you going to use it? Do you want it to get into the boot of your car as well? So there's a lot of different things to think about before you go ahead and actually buy your scooter.
Particularly in crowded shopping areas, you know, there are lots of incidents of near misses that I've seen, you know, and somebody could have injuries resulting from that. Yeah. And I personally insure mine. One class doesn't need to be insured. Obviously, those that are for use on a public road, then you have to notify the DVLA, and they are a different class of vehicle. But I insure mine personally, but there's no obligation to do that. That's because I choose to do it. You know. The thing is that you don't approach any of these obstacles or hazards too fast. That's when it's more difficult. So you need to look very carefully, you need to make sure there are no pedestrians around. The course itself is okay. Obviously, reversing is more difficult. This is a bigger scooter than I'm used to, but I think the course is very good, and I think would give people confidence, or give them more confidence to use their scooter outside.